Good evening. We begin tonight with members and friends of the Mormon Church gathered in unprecedented numbers today at the Madison Square Garden for a meeting with Church President Gordon B. Hinckley. Charles Sherrill reports from New York.
It was an even bigger audience than the organizers expected.
We estimate about 24,000 people are in attendance here this morning.
There was simultaneous translation in 11 languages. The prospect of seeing Church President Gordon Hinckley in person attracted the faithful from throughout the Northeast.
We view this, as I said, a very important event in our lives, and we delight to come and hear his counsel.
The last time President Hinckley addressed church members here in New York was in 1991 at Radio City Music Hall. Of course, he was not church president then. The last time a president addressed members in New York was 22 years ago, and there's never been such a gathering here at Madison Square Garden. This was a first for most, and President Hinckley began by thanking them.
How grateful we are for the effort that you've made to come here.
He surprised some with his sense of humor while suggesting they forgo 2 meals a month and contribute the money saved to help the poor.
I see no one in this great congregation today who looks hungry. In fact, most of you, I better not say that.
He counseled the faithful to tithe and challenged claims the church is rich.
We're not a financial institution. We're a religious institution. Our assets are money consuming and not money producing.
The reaction was universal.
He always makes me want to be a better person, a better husband, and a better father.
Charles Sherrill, KSL News, New York.
Access to the arena was arranged by bountiful native and former Utah Jazz president David Checketts, who's now president and CEO of Madison Square Garden. He said the 6-figure rental fee was paid by private donors at no expense to the church.
We told you last night about the
One of the world's most famous arenas becomes a gathering place for thousands of LDS church members today. President Gordon B. Hinckley spoke to more than 24,000 people at New York's Madison Square Garden this morning. Never before have this many Mormon church members assembled in New York City. For many, this was the first time they've heard the church president speak in person.
We're kind of minority here, and to have something where we can all congregate and see our prophet, someone who guides us in the latter days, it's very exciting.
By way of reminder,
in his speech, President Hinckley told of the trials of the Mormon pioneers and the suffering that still goes on.
Some complain that ours is not an easy religion. It is not. But out of it comes great strength and great loyalty, as your presence here attests this morning.
There are 20,000 LDS church members in the New York area. That's up from 8,000 just a decade ago.
A rollover accident near Cedar.
The world's most famous arena became a house of worship today as LDS church members and friends of the church packed Madison Square Garden in New York. Beer signs were covered and Coca-Cola signs remained unlit. And thousands gathered to hear President Gordon B. Hinckley. For many, it was a first chance to see their prophet in person. An arena that normally shakes with the shouts and cheers of sporting events rings with praise for a prophet and the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. 24,000 people gathered from all over eastern United States for this morning's worship service at Madison Square Garden.
We're kind of minority here, and to have something where we can all congregate and see our prophet, someone who guides us in the latter days, it's very exciting.
President Hinckley told the crowd to have faith in what he calls troubled times.
The church and the Lord expects that every one of us will have in his or her heart a solid and quiet and certain faith in the God of heaven and a desire to do his will.
And he again spoke of the church as a Christian faith and urged members to follow Christ by serving their neighbors and practicing their religion.
Some complain that ours is not an easy religion. It is not. But out of it comes great strength and great loyalty, as your presence here attests this morning.
And those who listened to their prophet this morning say they were strengthened by the service and by being together. Non-church members who attended included journalist Mike Wallace, who once interviewed President Hinckley on 60 Minutes.
Mike seems to be truly taken by President Hinckley.
Seems to be. Some slightly